In this video, I'm going to share the 2 things you should never say in an email to someone you don't know, especially if it's an influential person. And then I'm going to walk you through a word-for-word script that I've personally used and continue to use to email influential people, and I get responses fast. First, let's start off with what you should never do. Don't write long emails. If I get an email, an unsolicited email from someone I don't know and it's a long one, I almost always ignore it. Why? Because I'm busy. Am I missing out on potential opportunities? Maybe, but I've got enough on my plate. And chances are a rogue request from someone I don't know isn't going to help me as much as it's going to help them. What's funny is, I'm not the only person who ignores long emails. As a matter of fact, one of my friends thought about instituting a rule for everyone who emailed him. He wanted everyone to email him 2 versions of the email. At the top, the short version of the email, a 1-sentence email. At the bottom, the long version of the email. Why? That way he can read the 1 sentence, see if it was interesting enough to keep reading. If not, delete. Who else doesn't like to get long emails? Journalists, bloggers, or anyone of importance. Why? Because they're busy. Adam, what are you doing? Get back on the camera, man. Number 2, don't ask for anything for free. The internet has turned people into panhandlers, and I'm probably going to catch some flack for saying that, but it's annoying. You know, people who wouldn't be caught dead asking for $1 on a corner are asking for much more than that in an email. I remember back when I was doing these site reviews with those A-list bloggers, and I remember people would email me all the time asking me to do site reviews of their website for free. And I remember this one person who actually got mad at me because I didn't want to give them a free site review. Don't do that. Forget about me for a second. Emailing anyone and asking for something huge like that is a tragic mistake. Not only are you going to look like a panhandler, but you're going to ruin your first impression with that influential person, and they're going to ignore you forever. That said, what should you do? What should you write to these people? I like to send short and sweet emails that takes advantage of what George Lowenstein calls an information gap. I've talked about information gaps before, but if you're unfamiliar with it, I'll explain. When there's a gap between what people know and what people want to know, they desperately seek to close that gap. When I email people who I don't know, I try to open an information gap in that first email. As an example, if I want to promote my article, The Content is King Myth Debunked, where I explain why I believe design is king, not content, I can email bloggers and say, I stumbled on some academic research that proves design is king. It was conducted at a university in London, and the researcher found that when people distrust websites, 94% of the time they cite design-related reasons. If you'd like me to forward that research your way, let me know and I will gladly send it over. Notice how I created that information gap? I shared the results, but I didn't share the research. Why? Because if I shared a link in that introductory email, they might have thought I was fishing for a link. What I wanted to do was I wanted to make them ask me for the link. That way, when I do go ahead and send them the link, I'm not sending an unsolicited link request. I'm sending them exactly what they asked for. But what else was going on here? I was emailing people who I knew would be interested. They were design bloggers. Why wouldn't they want to learn about why design is king and have research to back it up? But there is even more going on here. I started off my email with, I stumbled on some academic research. That's a credibility trigger. It wasn't my opinion or some blogger's opinion. It was real life academic research. How can you write emails that get responses just like that one? For that, click the link below this video and download the free worksheet where I walk you through the exact email I've used to contact New York Times bestselling authors, world-renowned researchers, and professors from top universities. And that email that I walk you through got responses, lots of them. That said, if you made it this far in the video, I know you like this strategy, so I want you to do two things. First, leave a comment below this video and tell me what types of emails do you respond to and what types of emails do you ignore. Be as specific as possible. I'd love to hear all about it. And second, what I'd love for you to do is send a link to this video to a friend if you think it could help them get in touch with people they'd like to get in touch with. Or you know what? Better yet, every time someone sends you a stupid email, instead of ignoring them, just send them a link to this video. And on that note, get your like on by nailing the like button and get your brain bigger by subscribing to Social Triggers for free. Who else doesn't like to get long emails?